Hi, I'm Curt Frye, and welcome to my videos on using Excel power techniques. I'm going to start with one of the most common issues with Excel, and it's certainly one that's gotten a lot of press, and that is when Excel eliminates leading zeros when you enter or import data into Excel. So just to demonstrate what happens in cell B3, let's say that I type in a zip code, 02180. So in the US, that is a 5-digit number that refers to a delivery area for the Postal Service. So 02180. And if I press enter, then Excel removes the leading zero. And that is a problem. You can also see that the zero does not appear on the formula bar. So here are a number of techniques that you can use to deal with that. If you're entering data directly, you can change the format of the cell or cells that you're entering into to a text format. So with the cell selected, I'll go on the Home tab to the number format control, click its down arrow, and all the way at the bottom is text. So I'll click there, and then with B3 still selected, I'll have 02180 and enter. And you see that the value appears the way that I wanted, but there's this green error indicator at the top. So I'll click the cell and hover my mouse pointer over the indicator or the little action button beside it, and it says the number in the cell is formatted as text or preceded by an apostrophe. And that actually is what we want, so it's not an error. And as that flyout tooltip indicates, you can type an apostrophe and then a number starting with 0 or anything else, and it will be treated as text. And you don't have to change the format of the cell. So if I type an apostrophe, 02180, and enter, then it's treated as text, and I get the same error indicator. If you are working with zip codes, which are very common in business worksheets, then you can apply the zip code format. So in cell B5, with that selected, I'll go back up to the Home tab to the number format control, click the down arrow, and this time I'll click more number formats because what we want doesn't appear on the list here. And then I'll click special, and I've got zip code and zip code plus 4. In this case, we'll just go with the 5-digit number. So I've got zip code, click OK. And for B5, 02180, and enter, and it is formatted as a zip code. So that's great for entering numbers directly, but most of the problems come when you import your data directly. So what I will do is show you a number of ways to work with imported data when you have numbers with leading zeros that you need to keep. So I'll start by showing you how to bring in data from a comma-separated value text file. So I'll go to the Data tab. And then in the Get and Transform Data group, I have from text/CSV, so I'll click that. And it will take a look at my operating system. And I'll go to Desktop, Exercise Files, and the file I want to use is zeroimport.csv. So I'll double click, get the connection, and then I will get a preview. And you can see that Excel is going to try to bring in the data without the leading zeros because it has identified the values as a number. So let's go ahead and transform the data so it comes in properly. I'll click Transform Data, and that will open up Power Query, the Power Query editor. And I have column 1 set, and you see up at the top, I have the table name and identifier, and then here's the data type. It's a 64-bit integer. So I will backspace over that, and then type text, and enter. And the data is now text, and you can see that it has a leading zero. So with that ready to go, I'll click Close and Load. And I get the import, and you can see the data here comes in with its leading zeros. And when I click a cell that contains some of that data and go back to Home, it is formatted as general. And that's because the formatting from the import through Power Query overrides the local data type within the worksheet. So that's one way of bringing in a text or CSV file using Power Query. You can also double-click a file to open it and then have Excel not do the conversion. And this is a fairly recent feature, so this might not be available to you, but if it is, I definitely recommend that you look for it. So I will press Alt-Tab to go to Exercise Files, and then all the way at the bottom is Zero Import. So scroll down there if you need to, and I'll double-click to open it. And it'll take a moment. And you'll see here that it says, by default, Excel will perform the following data conversions, removing leading zeros. If you click Convert, then it will do as it says. If you say Don't Convert, which I will, then the data comes in, and it is treated like it has an apostrophe at the front, which you can see that it does. So what Excel did was it kept the cell format general, and it added an apostrophe in front of all the data so that you would get the text value. A final thing you can do, and again, if you have a fairly recent version of Excel, is to turn off automatic conversion, getting rid of leading zeros. So to do that, go to the File tab, and then click Options. Then from here, go to the Data tab, and under Automatic Data Conversion, there is an option to remove leading zeros and convert to a number. It is currently checked. I'll go ahead and clear it and click OK, and that option has now been taken away. So if I were to reopen zeroimport.csv, then it would not automatically make the conversion. So those are a number of ways that you can deal with numbers that contain leading zeros in Microsoft Excel. It is fun to make fun of Excel because it removes leading zeros and it can cause all kinds of mistakes. But remember, you are responsible for your data. And if you know that you have numbers that start with leading zeros, whether it's being used in genetic analysis, for zip codes or whatever, make sure that you bring in the data and the zeros are kept where they need to be.